Good morning, students. This is Dr. Ruchika Pal, Assistant Professor in Suresh Gandhi University. I will teach you physiology in the physiotherapy course. So, hopefully, two live sessions of yours going on very well. So, this is in the physiology about the physiology, what you will read in the physiology, and about the chapters, about the systems. So if you have any doubt or any query about this, we will discuss it in the later on, which will be going on the classes. So about the chapters or about the subject. So what is physiology? So physiology is a subject or it is a review of organ system which you will study in your course, and this is the evolution and integration from cell to human. As such, you will got to through about the anatomy, now the physiology. So evolution and integration from cell to human. So about the cell and how the cell structure will be formed and how the organ system will be, the formation of the organ system will be there. Now the concept of homeostasis will be introduced in your first chapter. The themes in physiology. The themes in physiology mean that the themes which by which the systems are working, the science of physiology, how the system is forming and how the system is working. So this is about the experimental data and experimental design. So this is the levels of organization or how we will define the physiology. Functions which explain why it needed to be done. There are a lot of functions which are going on in our body and how the functions are performing, what part of the body will perform by the functions, what functions will be performed by the body, and the mechanism explain how it does that job. If I will take an example of that, how you will eat when you eat the food, how the food will be gone in your body, how the food will be digested, and what kind of nutrition will be absorbed and what kind of the waste will be expelled out from your body. Organization of the life. Now cell is the unit of life, or you can say cell is the basic structure of life, which consists cell. The cell will form to make a tissue, the tissues will make form organs, and the organs combine to form organ system, and the organ system will combine to form a organism. So here you can see that this graphical chart you can see, which we will study previously we will study in the schools also. So if we go on through the chemistry, the first part is the chemistry. The smallest part is the atom, and the two atoms or more than two atoms combine to form molecules, and then these chemistry action reaction will form the molecular biology, which form the cells. Means cell is the basic unit of life, but cell has the basic structures also. These structures are called the atoms and the molecules. Now, if we'll talk about the molecular biology, if we will talk about the tissues, cell biology, and about the physiology. So, if we talk about the cells, tissues, organs, and physiology in the system, organs and the organ system, then organ system combined to form an organism and the population of one species. So this is the starting by the chemistry, then it formed the molecular biology, then it will become the cell biology, and then cell biology combined to make up physiological structures, or you can say the physiology starts in our body in the form of organs, organ system, organism, and the population of the species, and this ecology, the ecology or the ecosystem of different species, and that it combined to form, or you can say it will lead to the biosphere. So this physiology is related to your ecology also. Now you will the organ, when the organism is formed, it will combine in the, it will goes into the ecosystem. So, if I will talk about the organ system in the physiology, the organ system in review, the circulatory system, in which the circulation of the all materials is going on in our body, digestive system, endocrine system, immune system, integumentary system, musculoskeletal system, nervous system, reproductive system, and urinary system. So these systems are in the review. You will. I will teach you about the circulatory system. I will teach you about the digestive system, endocrine system, immune system, and the integumentary system. Muscular system, skeletal system includes your muscles and the skeleton. Nervous system will include your nervous system. This is the which you have also gone through in the schools. Also, the autonomic nervous system and the central nervous system. About the nerves, nerve cells, tissues, reproductive system, and the urinary system also. So, concept mapping. Now, the concept mapping is related to the structure and the function. How the structure is formation and the function of the specific organ system, specific organs, and the specific basic structure of the your life. Now, integration across the cell, tissue, and organs. Now, the structure of the cells, how the cells combine to form a tissues, what kind of the tissues combine to form an organ, what is the structure, how the organ is formed, and the function of the organ. Now, flow chart will be in the follow process in the sequence, means which cell combine to form the tissues and which tissues are combined to form the organs. So, this is the structure and function, and we will go through in the concept mapping. Here you can see the flow chart in which this the outside components and the fillings. Mean to say, if I am taking an example of the sandwich, in the sandwich outside component are the bread, tortillas, or the wraps in which you wrap the fillings. So what are the fillings? These are the vegetables, cheese, meats, dressing, and sauces. Same thing is going on this if the person working outside in a hot or in a dry day. I'm taking the example of the homeostasis over here. If the person is working outside on a hot or on a dry day, it loses body. It loses body, or you can say by evaporation, body fluids become more concentrated. Internal receptors sense changes in internal concentration. Thirst pathway stimulated, and the person seeks out and drinks water. Water added to body fluids decrease their concentration. So here is the mapping, or you can say it is the flow chart of the homeostasis. If a person is working on outside environment, where either hot or a dry day, now when we work in a hot atmosphere, we will go through the sweating. So losing of the body water in the form of the evaporation by the sweating. Body fluids become more concentrated. Internal receptors sense changes in the internal concentration. Wherever the dehydration is going on or the body fluid is evaporating, then the internal changes will be there. Thirst pathway will be stimulated, and the person seek out and drink water. So, if this is the water added to body fluids decrease their concentration. So it is the basic example. I have taken the concept mapping and the flowchart example. So now evaluation of the physiological system. How the physiological system evolved. I have said that a cell is the basic unit of the life, or the intracellular cell consists the intracellular fluid, which is present in the cells. Extracellular fluid, you can see in the diagram, the extracellular fluid is the outside the cell membrane. This is the extracellular fluid. Now, if we talk about the organism are there, and the protective cells are there, and the exchange cells are there. You can see in the diagram, this is the diagram of the cell internal structure and the related to the external environment. So intracellular fluid of most cells, it consists of its protective cells and exchange cells also. Now the protective cells function is to protection, and exchange is to exchange the fluid, exchange the components to going on the function of the particularly cell. Now, external environment, how the external environment is acting upon the cell, or how the internal environment is changing in the cell. Homeostasis defined on the emergent properties. So these are the internal and external environment evolution of this physiological system. These internal and external environment is going on according to the physiology. Now, homeostasis and controls. Homeostasis is basically, I'm taking, this is the very basic example which you can learn in the physiology for the this for the your procedure, or you can say the physiological process which is going on in our body. So in this, external or internal change will be there, loss of homeostasis will be there, physiological attempt to correct the senses integrating center and response of the cells and organs. Now we will go on through this the physiological processes, and this is just like homeostasis, and what are the responses of the cells and organs if the process is not going on properly, or what are the sensors or what are the center acting on that system. Now, what is the if you are now again you are seeing the flow chart. In this, internal change results in the loss of homeostasis, and what happened in the organism, the homeostasis in internal and external change is going on. If the change is there, now organism attempts to compensate. This compensation fails, and this compensation succeeds. Now the illness or disease or wellness will be there. The failure to compensate, if compensation is not there, or the body is failed to compensate the requirements, or you can say the procedure is not going on properly, now the pathophysiology really, leads to the illness or in the death. You can say if the person is getting dehydrated, now how we will compensate the dehydration, we will drink lot of water, or we will take salt components, or we will take another form of the liquid to compensate the dehydration. But if this thing is not going on properly, or we cannot perform this properly, then the pathophysiology will be there, the person will become ill, or if the dehydration will become the severe, it will leads to the death. Now, in short, in summary of these things is that we will discuss about the organ system, the structures and function, the cell, the organism, and the outside environment, how the outside environment is working on, homeostatic balancing, review of the things, communication or energy, membranes, body components, and flow and balance of the liquid. Scientific inquiry will be there, and experimental designs will be there and representing the data. Now I will forward to the other systems also, which we will which will go through in the our courses. Now about the blood group system. Blood group system, it will come in as your circulatory system, how the blood formation is there, how whatever the blood components will be there. Now this is the content I'm going to taking an example about the blood group system, because all we know about the blood group system, everyone has the different blood group system, and this is the ABO blood group system and the RH blood group system. So this is the type of the blood group which all the human organism have. This is the A positive, B positive, A negative, AB positive, O positive, B negative, O negative, AB negative. So these are the type of the blood group, and we will know about that how the blood group formation is there, what kind of the certain characteristic features will be there to get the blood group systems, which is the rarer blood group system, and which is the rare commonest blood group, and what type of blood group is there which is helpful in the other things. Now, ABO blood group system is the most important blood type system or blood group system in human body blood transfusion. Now, this is the about the human body blood transfusion. So ABO blood group system, in which you have the different type of blood group system, which I have already told you about the blood group. ABO blood types are also present in some other animals. You can say about the rodents and apes such as chimpanzee, bonobos, and the gorillas. It has a different blood group system, and it is helpful in the human blood transfusion wherever it is required. Now, what are the things which are present in our body? These are the antigen and antibody present in ABO blood group. You can say in the ABO blood group, it mean to say if in the A blood group, antigen A is present, antigen B is missing, and antigen antibody is present in the anti B. So this is the graphical chart, or you can say this is the only the tabular form in which I have told you about the antigen and antibody. But this will be discussed in our classes in the chapters. We will discuss it in the properly about the ABO blood group system. So this is just like about the A, B is there, B antigen is present, A antigen is missing, and then antibody anti-A is present. Now O, in this no antigen is present, antigen missing A and B, and anti-A and B is antibody is present. AB, in which the both antigen are present, no antigen is missing, and antibody is not present, which is the null. So, if we related the to the blood group system about the blood group transfusion, now how the immunity is working, or you can say what kind of the thing which is present in the immunity. So, you can see in the diagram also, this is the immunity about the right lymphatic duct, and or you can say about the thoracic duct, thoracic patch, all the other things which are included in this immunity. We will discuss it later in the classes also. Now, immunity is related to your defense mechanism. So, what are the defense mechanism? Part of the defense mechanism. This is the non-specific defense mechanism. This is a specific defense mechanism. This is the immune system. This is the first line of defense. What are the first line of defense? Is the skin. Skin is the first line of defense, and it is the largest organ in our body. Membrane, which is mucous membrane, is also considered in the first line of defense. Secretions of the skin and the mucous membrane, which leads to the first line of defense. Now, second line of defense, this is the phagocytic white blood cells. After the first line of defense, if the bacteria or if the infection is rises there, then the second line of defense is the phagocytic white blood cells, antimicrobial proteins, inflammatory responses. So what are the phagocytic process, what are the phagocytic white blood cells, and what are the antimicrobial proteins will be there to performing of the second line of defense will be discussed in the classes, and the inflammatory responses also. Now, specific defense mechanism. Now, this is a non-specific which is present on our body. Now, specific mean to say those line of defenses which work with the immune system in properly behavior, or you can say it will work with the pathological conditions. So, third line of defenses are the lymphocytes and the antibodies. You have heard about the antibody previously also. So that is the antibodies which are present against the antigen, or you can say against the develop against the other bacterial infections or any other infections. It includes in the third line of defense. So, what are the functions of the immune systems, or what are the function of this defense mechanism? It is a role in the inflammation and healing. When we will gone through the other things, inflammation will be there, and the inflammation, if inflammation is present in your body, how the inflammation will be reduced and how the healing will be occur. It comes under the immunity or in the defense mechanism. Now, role in the defense against bacteria. So, this is the role in defense against bacteria. If the bacterial infection is there, or if the bacteria invasions in your body, then the defense mechanism, the third line of defense mechanism, antibodies will be there, and the lymphocytes will be there to kill the bacteria. Role in immune responses. If the immune responses will be increase in the, you can say immune responses is there. If you suffer from any infection, the immune system will work against that system, and the immune responses will be in the sudden releases of these antibodies and the lymphocytes. Now, role in the removal of old RBC, role in removal of the old WBC. So, how the old RBC will be removed, how the old WBC will be removed, and the platelets. When the RBC, if we talk about the RBC, the lifespan of the RBC is 120 days. Now, how RBC will be removed from our body, or how the how the RBC will be when the RBC will be dead, where it gone through the and where how it parted. This all will be in your blood system also, in the defense mechanism also, and the WBC and the platelets. Every cell of in our immunity or in the defense mechanism, these cells have the specific lifespan, and this specific lifespan will be you can say ki when the lifespan will become descend down, then the dead formation of the cells will go on in the specific places, and then it will reduce into the other formation. Now storage functions, how the storage function working in the our immune system, these all functions will be gone in, will be covered up in the immune system. Now, about the lymphoid organs. So, lymphoid organs, what are the lymphoid organs? These are the thymus glands, these are the tonsils, lymph node, bone marrow, lymphatic vessels, and the red bone marrow. Spleen is very important in our body. Spleen is the graveyard of RBC, or spleen act as a very different work in the our immune system also, and in the blood group system also. Now, if we talk about the immunity, then there is a specific resistance immunity is also there. Response to threats on an individualized basis. This is the innate immunity, and innate immunity part. It is divided into the innate immunity and the acquired immunity. So, if we talk about this, innate immunity, this is the genetically determined, no prior exposure or antibody production involved. So this is the innate immunity which is present, which is in the you can say in the starting stage of the life, when the baby is born. So this is the genetically determined. There is no prior exposure of antibody production involved. Now acquired immunity is there, where the produced by prior exposure or antibody production. This acquired immunity is included in that, when the antibody, how the antibody is produced, if prior exposure will be there of the bacterial infection or any other infection, or you can say any other procedure is going on where the antibody is produced. Now active, it is divided into again two parts. This is the active immunity and the passive immunity. This is produced by antibodies that develop in responses to antigens. Now active immunity is there, where the antibodies is produces or in the develop in the response to antigens, and immune responses is there. Passive immunity, it is produced by transfer of antibodies from one person to the another person. So this is the passive immunity. Now, active immunity is also in the two parts. It is the natural acquired active immunity, and it develops after exposure to antigens environment. And induced active immunity, it develops after administration of antigen to prevent diseases. Now, natural and passive immunity. This is the conferred by the transfer of maternal antibodies across placenta or in breast milk. Induced passive immunity, it is conferred by the administration of the antibodies to combat infection. So these are the these are the types of the immunity, or in the dividation of the immunity, where you have read about the when you go through the your immune system. So after the immunity or immune system and the blood system, this is the excretory system also there. So excretory system is the removes waste, kidneys, skin, and lungs, digestive system, and respiratory system. These are the parts of the excretory system. You can say these all things will help in the removal of our waste. No, metabolic processes which give rise to a chemical products which are of no use to the body. In fact, some of them may prove detrimental to health, and accumulation of these waste products can be even be fatal. Now, even waste products are removed from the body by the process of the excretion. Now, if we will talk about the urinary system, so urinary system is their metabolic waste included, which excess water and salts, carbon dioxide from cellular respiration, and nitrogen compounds from the breakdown of proteins, and the urea. These are the metabolic waste. Now, how they will the remove from your body. Now, human respiratory system is part of the excretory system. It removes the nitrogen containing waste and helps maintaining the osmotic balance. So this is the part. This is the function of the urinary system. Now, the skin, I have already told you the skin is the first line of defense. It is the skin is also a sense organ. Nerve ending and other receptors in the skin respond to pain, heat, cold, touch, and pressure. Now, the skin supplies much of the body's needs for vitamin D. A substance is produced in the skin which changes into vitamin D when exposed to sunlight. Now, it is the skin has very different function and very important function in our body. The skin supplies much of the body's needs for vitamin D. You all know very well that we can synthesize our vitamin D in our body by the help of the sunlight. The skin give rise to specialized structures such as hairs and nails. Now, after the urinary system or the excretory system, it is much previously. I will teach you human digestive system first. The human digestive system. This is the process of reducing food into smaller molecules that can be absorbed into the body. Now, the digestive system consists of two major parts. This is the major organs and the accessory organs. Now, major organs are the mouth, esophagus, stomach, small intestine, and the intestine. And the accessory organs, it is the liver, gallbladder, and pancreas. What is the difference between the major organs and the accessory organs? The major organs are those organs which are mainly helping in the digestive system, and accessory organs are those which are helping in the digestion of the food particles, or which are helping in the performance of the digestive system. Now, these are the liver, gallbladder, and the pancreas. As you can see in the diagram, this is the esophagus, this is the stomach, and this is the jejunum and ileum are the part of the stomach. This is the duodenum, and it goes into the small intestine. You can say it is the large intestine, colon, appendix, rectum, and all the other parts, all the specific different parts which we will study in the human digestive system. Now, if we could talk about how the food is working or how the food is going on in our body. Now, whenever you eat the food, it will churn up by your teeth and with the mix with the saliva and form a bolus. Now, when how the food will go on, how the food will reach to the stomach. So, the food travels down the esophagus through a series of involuntary rhythmic contraction. This is called the peristalsis. This peristalsis is the movement of the bolus or chyme in the esophagus. This procedure is called the esophagus. This procedure is going on in the esophagus, and it is called the peristalsis. And the function is there. The function, how the function is going on. This is the lining of the esophagus secrete mucus, which helps in the lubrication and move forward the bolus towards the stomach and to support the movement of the food. And the procedure is going on, which is known as peristalsis, is a contraction of the. You can see the first is the wave of relaxation where the esophagus dilated, and where is the wave of contraction where the esophagus is the constricted. So this is about the movement of the food from esophagus towards the stomach, and the procedure is the peristalsis. Now, next is the your cardio system, which is also in your physiological process physiology book. So this is the complete sequence of events in the heart from the beginning of one beat, the beginning of the following beat, a complete heartbeat including systole, this is the contraction, and diastole is the relaxation. So about the, you can say this is the I'm talking about the cardiac cycle in which the heart is working in the proper sequence manner or in the proper physiological system. Now you can see the diagram. This is the right atrium, this is the left atrium, this is the right ventricle, this is the left ventricle. In between the valves are there, and how the valves are closed. This is the pulmonary valve, and this is the tricuspid valve and bicuspid valve, and this is the aortic valve, atrial systole, ventricle diastole. This is, you can say, it is the diagram of the heart. Now, the right atrium receives deoxygenated blood from all over the body through superior and inferior vena cava. Left atrium receives oxygenated blood from lungs through pulmonary veins. So this is the only a basic part of the, you can say, cardio system I have. telling you here. Otherwise, it is a very vast topic. We will discuss it in the classes. The ventricle events will be there in this. The isometric contraction period will be there. The ejection period, the ejection of the blood will be there. Protodiastole is there. Isometric relaxation period will be there. Rapid filling phase will be there, and the last rapid filling, slow filling phase, and last rapid phase. These are the filling of the blood in the you can say your atrium and the ventricle also. So this is the different procedure which is the going on in our cardiovascular system. Now, now you can see the diagrams, different diagrams in of the heart. Now, how the heart is working in this atrial systole, and how the isometric contraction is there, ejection period is there, rapid and slow filling, isometric relaxation, rotodiastole. So, what are the procedures going on this properly? These topics. This is the atrial systole in which the atria contracts and a small amount of blood enters the ventricles. In this isometric contraction, all the walls are closed. Ventricles undergo isometric contraction and pressure in the ventricles is increased. Ejection period, semilunar walls are open, ventricles contract and blood is ejected out. Rapid and slow filling, atrioventricular walls are open, ventricles relax and filling occurs. Now isometric relaxation is there, all the valves are closed, ventricles undergo isometric relaxation, and this ventricles is reduced. So protodiastole, this is the first stage of diastole. The semilunar walls are closed at the end of this period. So you can see about the different stages of the heart, different stages of the heart functions, in which the how the blood is oozes out, how the blood is filling, how the blood get oxygenated, how the blood is formation, how the blood will travel throughout the body. Now, if we talk about the five areas for listening to the heart, so these are the five areas where you can listen to the heartbeat. These are the aortic heartbeat. This is the right second intercostal space. This is the pulmonary left second intercostal space. This is Erb's point. This is the S1 and S2 left third intercostal space where you can listen to the heartbeat. Tricuspid, where the loft layer, sternal border, and fourth intercostal space is there. Mitral valve, where the mitral area, where the left fifth intercostal medial to mid clavicular line. So this we can say this is the mnemonic. You can say we can learn these five areas according. That's A for aortic, P for pulmonary, E for Erb's point, T for tricuspid, and M for mitral. So all people enjoy Time magazine, or this is the mnemonic, or you can form your own mnemonics where you can learn your different types of these sequences or any other things which you have to make this mnemonics for the proper learning, or you can say proper writing the things in this physiological system. Now, this is the is always listen to your heart. It may be on your left, but it's always right. So this is the quotation I have quotes I have added to this PPT. As you all are in entering in the beautiful course, in this very wonderful course of the physiotherapy, so learn the basic things, enjoy your college time, or always listen to your heart, so that you can do the proper things, or things in a right way manner. So this is all about this physiological system, or the physiology, which we will teach, which we will read in this first year of your first semester of this physiotherapy course. So thank you so much, and most welcome in the Gyan Vihar University. So hope I will see you soon. and we will start our classes, and just join the orientation program also for your introduction also, and to know the teachers and your seniors very well. Thank you so much.